comes in with those issues, I know it'll be an easy fight for you. But if he comes in focused, he can make it tough because he too knows how to make adjustments when it's time to make adjustments. So that's why I think it's a great fight for both you guys. I'm looking forward to a great night. I hope his mind is right, because if his mind is right.
But what he does bring to the table and what Shakur does have to deal with is explosive power, quick twitch, muscles, and the type of punches that he likes to throw.
I've been focused on training camp going well, so now we just wait on the day. I'm ready, and I'm definitely coming to shock the world.
Recently, Shakur Stevenson shared a clip in which he delivered a stern warning to Teofimo Lopez. With sweat pouring from his face, he stressed that this is the real thing behind his confidence. He mentioned that he has already grinded harder than he did in most of his recent fight camps, with 3 weeks still to go. Shakur warned Teofimo not to live in any kind of delusion, saying that what he is doing now will make him pay the price. He urged him to come in the best shape possible.
Miles in the bank. Boy, you ready? 3 more weeks. We locked in. Browns in the bank. Khalil, what up, gang? Y'all already know. I promise you already.
On the other hand, Tim Bradley, while dissecting this contest, declared that Shakur would like to show his skills right from the start. Knowing the strong areas of the opponent he is against, Shakur would want to assert his dominance from the very beginning. For this, he will use his movement and speed to prevent Teofimo from using his power effectively. Bradley further stated that there are much stronger chances of Shakur prevailing with this plan because these qualities are what separate him from other boxers. He argues that Shakur has a distinct advantage in this match because of his understanding, competence, and ring expertise.
Shakur, I believe early on, will do a lot of movement. He will. Because Teo, again, that subtlety in setting down his feet before he explodes with that power, like, I can see it. I can visibly see it. And a guy like Shakur with his IQ, because that's what makes Shakur who he is, you know, is he might not be the fastest. He might not be the most explosive. But when it comes to quickness, as far as the processor, there's very few fighters out there that can process as fast as him.
To further strengthen his prediction, along with hailing Shakur, he also went on to pick apart Teofimo Lopez's game. He pointed out that whenever we hear of Teofimo Lopez, just one thing comes to mind: explosiveness. However, when you fight contests of such high-level caliber, power alone simply cannot push you to the winning side. He further expressed that Teofimo needs to show a serious attitude this time, as he cannot afford even a single mistake in the ring against Shakur. Keeping these points in mind, Tim declared that Shakur is likely to control the fight and play it the way he wants.
It's to me, it's simple. You know, to a guy like Shakur, I think it's going to be simple as well. Watch the big looping left. Watch the big looping right, you know. If you can get away from the first step, you know, of Teofimo Lopez, you know, and cut on an angle, you know, he's going to be going exploding straight forward. There's times where Teo leaves his feet. I mean, there's a lot of flaws in Teo's game that I think a guy like Shakur, who's more disciplined, is going to be able to exploit.
However, he also suggested the ways in which Teofimo Lopez can secure the victory. He advised him to make Shakur move less and limit his freedom in the ring. He also underlined that if Teofimo wants to land cleanly, he has to make Shakur come into his zone. How creative Teofimo can be would ultimately decide his fate in the ring. If he brings something unpredictable, he has a better chance. However, with his traditional boxing style, Tim marked Shakur as the winner without any doubt.
Teofimo Lopez is going to have to stack moves in order to close the distance and get close and be able to land on Shakur. He's going to have to build on different moves, you know, find creative ways to close distance, because that straight line, ain't nobody beating Shakur in that straight line. I'm sorry, that 50-50, no one's beating Shakur in that. Not gonna happen. Not even Teofimo Lopez.
Like Tim Bradley, Showbiz the Adult, while suggesting Teofimo Lopez on what to do for a win, also mentioned that he would need to be very careful if he wants to win this one. Going in there with a fixed mindset of just using explosiveness can be very dangerous. He went on to say that since Shakur is a skilled boxer, Teofimo must demonstrate ring IQ and better skills in order to outbox him. If he doesn't, he may have a very long night since Shakur's control, rhythm, and consistency can penalize impatience and neutralize errors.
Tries to rush in and just slug Shakur Stevenson, he will not be successful there either. Teofimo Lopez knows himself. He has to do a mixture of both. So he has to use his boxing IQ to feint him. And then once he gets him in position, he has to throw punches and bunches, but great selected punches. Once again, using his boxing IQ. You can't just throw William Zepeda flurries. You have to throw well-educated punches. You have to set him up with traps and openings once you get him cornered against the ropes.
Another significant boxing figure, Andre Ward, stressed that Shakur is going to be the more mature person in this fight. Shakur Stevenson has demonstrated throughout time what he is capable of when he fights in his own manner, even if Teofimo also possesses some skills and qualities that Shakur will have to cope with. Considering this specific factor, Shakur is more likely to win this match because of his poise, self-control, and ability to manage the tempo.
And to have a blank canvas and to create something out of thin air, figure it out. Teo needs an outline to create that picture. And I think just that little bit of time that it takes for him to look at that outline before he starts painting again, I think that's going to be the difference in this fight.
However, Roy Jones Jr. marked it as a good fight, specifying that the fighter with the better fight approach is very likely to win. He expects that neither fighter will face any serious issues in the ring, hoping both of them perform at their top level. However, he told Shakur that this fight might hold more significance for him, highlighting that he may be looking smaller compared to Lopez. Winning this bout, according to Roy Jones Jr., would help silence all the critics who question Shakur's ability to handle bigger opponents and prove that skill and approach can overcome size differences.
I'm looking forward to a great night. I hope his mind is right, because if his mind is right, then y'all gonna play a good game of chess. And to see who prevails, it's gonna be awesome because, like I say, you have a great foot game. He's very innovative with what he does from the mental side of it. So I love what I see. I love these type of fights because it's a you pick 'em type of fight. This is what people want to see. You know, they want to see, will the cream rise? And you feel like you are the cream, so you trying to challenge all of them because you want to rise. I love that. Keep that mentality. Keep doing what you're doing.
Most importantly, in the same interview, Shakur Stevenson, while revealing his plans for Fight Night, indicated that it is surely going to belong to him. He divulged his training regimen and cautioned Teofimo Lopez to be prepared for Fight Night. He clarified that Teofimo and his crew are free to think anything they want about him, but when the actual test starts, they will be taken aback. Shakur contended that Teofimo can fight well against a lot of people, but once the action begins and pressure is put, he really has no chance against him.
I appreciate that, Roy. And like I said, come Fight Night, we coming in there to make sure we come out victorious. So Teo is a hell of a fighter. I understand that, but I don't think none of these dudes is on my level when I'm at my best. So he got a lot to deal with come January 31st.
Speaking further about this contest, Shakur also implied that there are specific reasons why he feels he is superior to Teofimo Lopez. In addition to having talents, he explained that you need to know how to take advantage of the circumstances. A fighter may be hit or injured while attempting to create a desired condition. Therefore, winning really comes to those who can manage challenging situations and make use of favorable ones. Understanding execution, comprehension, and manipulation, in Shakur's opinion, distinguishes great fighters from good ones and enables them to maintain calmness under tension.
Sometimes things don't open up in the first 3 rounds or the first 4 rounds, but them things may open up in the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th round. So I think majority of the game is come down to just having patience and being mentally strong enough to withstand the patience game, because good boxers is going to be both patient, and the one that's the most patient is the ones who's going to be the most successful.
Furthermore, Shawn Porter also echoed the issues in Teofimo Lopez's style that others have highlighted. Marking Shakur as a sharp fighter, he explained that Lopez often lacks that same sharpness. Porter affirmed that Teofimo Lopez has never consistently shown the level of maturity Shakur exhibits in his game. He went on to suggest that if Teofimo enters the ring well prepared and focused, this bout might be considered a 50-50 match.
Is explosive. He came into the game. That's a part of that's his DNA, right? But if you don't learn how to control your DNA, you just explosive. You just, and so he's got to hone in on that, be precise against Shakur, and That's a 50-50 fight, man.
Yeah.
I would say, I would honestly say 60-40 for Shakur because he's that sharp, he's that good defensively and offensively.
Besides these breakdowns, with fight night approaching fast, Shakur Stevenson has clearly shifted gears in his training camp, raising the intensity to a level that reflects the magnitude of the moment. He is aware that there is no time for complacency and that the remaining time must be used wisely. Every day at camp has a meaning, and every little aspect, from fitness to recuperation, is taken into consideration. As January 31st approaches with every practice, Shakur is mentally locked in due to the fact this fight requires complete dedication. Stevenson is also mindful that, on fight night, having a solid strategy is equally as important as getting ready physically. He is diligently developing various strategies for each scenario he anticipates encountering throughout this match. In order to make sure he can adapt in the event that the fight's tempo or rhythm changes, his squad continuously simulates scenarios. To thoroughly prepare him, a variety of drills and workouts are used, with a particular focus on ring control, mobility, rhythm, and defense. The goal is to equip him not only for combat, but also for dominance via intelligence and flexibility.
Go that way. But you did it on gather. You're gonna get it quick. Or stop. Let that right hand take over there. That makes sense. Bang. Bang.
Left hand.
Left hand. Backhand.
Moreover, what is regarded as the hardest challenge of his career has pushed Shakur into what is likely the harshest training camp he has ever experienced. He understands how physically and mentally taxing it can be to try to set up the ideal battle scenario. Even still, he welcomes it, realizing that while victory in boxing is always delightful, silencing detractors makes it twice as enjoyable. He is now more intent and prepared as a result of the criticism hurled at his profession.
Do I gotta be dominant? I think every fight that I set up, I want to be dominant. I don't care who in front of me. I want to dominate. I want to beat you to where judges don't feel like they can rob me. So I always got that feeling. I always got that chip on my shoulder.
Overall, Shakur did not want to pass up this chance to advance his career. He comprehends that winning would improve his chances and raise his profile in the sport. In light of this, he has intensified his training with the sole goal of winning on January 31st. Every plan, every exercise, and each concession is centered around the same objective: winning and showing his rightful place at the top. On the other hand, Teofimo Lopez is also going through a very harsh preparation phase as fight night approaches, matching the intensity seen in Shakur Stevenson's camp. He has a laser-like focus on winning, and everyone around him has the same goal in mind. Everyone in the camp is totally dedicated to the overarching objective of preparing Teofimo for battle night. The serious, motivated, and disciplined atmosphere reflects how important this battle is to his reputation and career.
I don't know what I That's it. Whoa, this is Eat it.
Teofimo is being pushed hard in terms of conditioning, explosiveness, speed, and sharpness to make sure he is physically ready for every round. The camp is working hard at every stage of preparation because they want to win handily, in contrast to Shakur's detailed tactical preparation. Teofimo's camp also places a strong emphasis on force and energy in an effort to hone his capabilities and make up for previous mistakes.
Ain't nobody work harder than me. Nobody. You see anybody doing that? You see anybody doing this? Nobody. None of you. Talk that shit, but they can't back it up.
Now we ready, man. You know, I told everybody it was gonna come. It's gonna come to this. You know, he's healthy, and we're gonna take it all, man. The take back, and everybody's gonna see a performance come Saturday, and I can't wait, man. It's gonna be beautiful. You've seen him right now, right?
In the camp, Teofimo grasps that in order to succeed this time, he must be sharper, more concentrated, and possess new traits. Finding tactics to make Shakur appear weak in the ring is therefore given significant attention in camp. His team is researching time, behaviors, and movement patterns in order to develop ways to restrict Shakur's freedom. Teofimo encourages creativity since he knows that surprise could be crucial to winning the battle.
¿Quieres descansar? Mueve la cintura a los lados, te agachas, lo dejas corto, lo pintas, lo pasas.
Acuérdate, estás haciendo esto aquí y luego me haces así. Okay. Es nomás aquí ya te impulsaste. Ya lo bajó y ¡pam! Levantas nomás con el swing.
In addition, he is conscious that losing against Shakur would damage his resume and generate more doubts about his skills, something he absolutely does not want. His training has just gotten tougher because of that pressure. Teofimo is pushing himself to the limit in an effort to win, dispel any doubts, preserve his legacy, and satisfy his supporters with a powerful performance on fight night.
Thank you. Beautiful. With that pyramid. Beautiful. Whatever you want. Jab is working nice. Beautiful. Beautiful. Keep the hands up.
Never hit you?
Thank you. Beautiful. With that pyramid. Beautiful. Whatever you want. Jab is working nice.
Heading towards the end, Teofimo Lopez was also counted out by Johnny Ortiz. While appreciating the athleticism Teofimo shows in the ring, he warned that athletic ability is only one part of boxing. To win at the highest level, all aspects of the sport have to be covered. Ortiz emphasized that relying solely on physical gifts is not enough against elite competition. Speaking on Shakur's side, he pointed out that Shakur almost looks like a complete fighter. Although there can never be a perfect boxer, Shakur appears well covered from all sides, including his movement, speed, defense, and offense.
One thing about Shakur, he's very disciplined when it comes to like in the ring technical style. Teo to me is a little bit more athletic, but Shakur got the length, and I believe he just beat him off of his discipline and length. I can see Shakur, utilizing the jab, and basically, I don't know, Teo. When Teo has the right mindset, he's a monster. He's very athletic. He does stuff, but if I had to pick a winner, I'd probably edge out Shakur.
Additionally, Keith Idek referenced both fighters' past bouts to reveal how he expects this fight to play out. Considering what Teofimo Lopez has accomplished thus far, he claimed that his best effort will be required this time. Idek noted that Teofimo has had trouble in the past against opponents who exhibit only boxing prowess. As a result, he counseled Teofimo to handle this conflict with discipline and patience. Additionally, he reinforced that Shakur would be just as good in the ring as he always is. He did, however, imagine that Teofimo would make significant progress this time in order to make the fight more engaging.
Level than Sandor Martin, and he's on another level than Jermaine Ortiz, who's also an underrated fighter. So I think that this also, Teofimo Lopez, his other best performance also came against a southpaw, and downstairs, but in the same venue against Josh Taylor. So which Teofimo Lopez is going to show up? I think we'll see the best version of Teofimo Lopez on fight night, or hopefully we do.
Considering all these things, the boxing community is extremely excited to witness this clash. which has become the central topic of nearly every boxing debate at the moment. Discussions everywhere are centered on one main question: who is going to win and how? Analysts, promoters, and fighters are equally interested in this matchup because it is expected to create a pure boxing showdown at the highest level. As of now, some predictions are leaning toward Shakur, while Teofimo Lopez has also secured strong support from the boxing community. Still, their true fate will depend entirely on how they perform on January 31st, where preparation, execution, and composure will decide the outcome and ultimately determine the better fighter. In the end, now it's your time to express your thoughts. Tell us who you are supporting in this contest and why you are making that choice. What factors and qualities make you pick one fighter over the other? We want to hear your predictions, so make sure to drop them in the comments section below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to show your support for us. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned to this channel for instant boxing updates, analysis, and news from every corner of the boxing world.